We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're breaking down everything you need to know about the rapidly unfolding case of Today host Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother, Nancy.
President Donald Trump spoke out on the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie, calling it a very unusual situation.
The first sign something was wrong.
On Saturday, January 31st, around 5:32 p.m., Nancy took an Uber to her daughter Annie's home for dinner. At 9:48 p.m., Annie's husband dropped Nancy off at home, and Nancy's garage door opened. At 9:50 p.m., the garage door closed.
Nancy Guthrie, 84, was last seen by family on Saturday night, January 31st, 2026, after dinner with her daughter Annie Guthrie and Annie's husband, Tommaso Cioni, before being dropped off at Nancy's home in the Tucson, Arizona area. What makes this opening beat so unsettling is how quickly the ordinary details harden into a narrow investigative corridor. Last confirmed sighting, a quiet night, then a blank space that begins before dawn. Investigators have been working that window with the kind of urgency you normally see in abduction cases, not routine missing person calls.
If there's any indication that she had communications with somebody prior, maybe somebody texted her. I understand she also has a pacemaker that does connect with Wi-Fi and possibly the internet. So is there some way that they can use that to help identify when she left, where she went?
The next morning, Sunday, February 1st, Nancy didn't show up for church, and that routine break was the first "this is not normal" signal. She was reported missing that day after failing to attend the service. In true crime storytelling, it's easy to rush past this as a sad detail, but in real investigations, it's often the first reliable data point. A consistent pattern interrupts, and the people who know the person best recognize it immediately.
This Sunday morning began with prayer.
We prayed for Nancy's rescue and her release.
At the same church 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was supposed to attend 1 week ago.
Bring her home safely.
She never made it, and her absence is what sparked a search that continues for an 8th day.
It's heartbreaking, and I pray she's okay.
What was left behind, and the first clues.
So the latest from the Pima County Sheriff's Office, they continue to say that they do not have any suspects. They don't have any persons of interest. They're not asking the public to be on the lookout for anybody. That is what they are saying publicly. But it seems like behind the scenes, investigators are building a case, and perhaps they are chasing down leads or persons of interest.
The early indicators didn't fit a voluntary disappearance. Reporting notes Nancy's iPhone was left inside the home. A major red flag in any case, and an even bigger one when health risks are already in the mix. Then there's the surveillance angle. Investigators have referenced problems with home monitoring, including a doorbell camera found disconnected, and reporting has described a Ring camera that appeared to have been forcibly removed. The camera actually detected movement at 2:12 a.m., after the doorbell was disconnected at 1:47 a.m. Tragically, because Nancy didn't have an active subscription for cloud storage, no video was saved. Investigators have been looking closely at medical tech breadcrumbs, including reporting that Nancy's pacemaker stopped transmitting around 2:30 a.m. on February 1st. That narrows the most crucial window to the deep overnight hours, when neighborhoods are quiet, witnesses are scarce, and suspicious movement blends into darkness. It also intersects with the surveillance issues. A disconnected doorbell camera limits what detectives can confirm visually, making device logs and transmission gaps even more valuable for reconstructing sequences. This pushes investigators toward practical questions. What could stop the transmission? Where was the device? Was there interference? And does that time align with any reported neighborhood activity? That one early morning marker doesn't solve the case, but it tells you exactly where the story stops being fuzzy.
There are not a lot of lights on here in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood. That's on purpose to accommodate the observatories in the mountain ranges. Remember, police believe Nancy Guthrie was taken in the wee hours of Sunday morning between the darkness and the dense desert vegetation. Police have said they don't hold out a lot of hope that home security cameras would catch anything useful.
FBI involvement and the expanding search.
A statement released by the Pima County Sheriff reads, quote, "The FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department are aware of a new message regarding Nancy Guthrie. Investigators are actively inspecting the information provided in the message for its authenticity." No details yet from authorities on the contents of that message, but it comes after Savannah Guthrie shared a video of her brother Cameron urging whoever took Nancy to contact the family.
This case moved beyond local capacity fast. The FBI joined the investigation with the Pima County Sheriff's Department, and a $50,000 reward was announced for information leading to Nancy's recovery or an arrest.
How do you think investigators are working to verify the authenticity of it and ensure that it's actually coming from the same sender as the initial demand?
Well, there's so many sophisticated ways to disguise your IP address, even go through some of the dark web content. So I'm sure they're looking at that, and they're trying to make a determination whether it is actually valid and real.
On the ground, reporting describes repeated searches and technical problem solving around the home, including investigators checking infrastructure points like a manhole and searching areas such as a septic tank near the property. The family also requested a continuing law enforcement presence at Nancy's house for security, a detail that speaks to the pressure, the attention, and the risk that high-profile cases attract.
The crime scene tape is now back up outside the house. There was nothing going on here for the last 36 hours or so, and then just within the last 30 minutes, I would say maybe a dozen police officers showed up, sheriff's deputies, FBI, and they immediately roped off the entire area.
A crime scene, not a missing senior.
We have so much in front of us still, and we're hoping that, I know the FBI has committed a very large number of men and women to partner with us, work side by side with us. We go do an interview, they're going to be there with us. We're going to go look at some evidence or process evidence, they're going to be right there with us. We're sharing every piece of information, all the data we can to get this thing solved.
Authorities quickly signaled they were treating this as a potential abduction or foul play, not a routine missing elder case. The reporting around the search work reflects that. Repeated returns to the neighborhood, close examination of the property, and targeted checks that go beyond a standard knock and talk.
Nobody's eliminated, but we just really don't have enough to say, this is our suspect, this is our guy, we know, or our gal. We just don't know that.
Investigators have also searched areas tied to family members, including a search at Annie Guthrie and Tommaso Cioni's home, which is consistent with detectives mapping access, timelines, and potential evidence paths. The key takeaway? Investigators are operating as if the disappearance was done to her, not simply happened to her.
I think we start to look at what the deadlines were in the note. First, I think, was 5 o'clock today, and then it had a second deadline after that. So we are continuing. In a normal kidnapping case, there would be contact by now, trying to discuss that. But those are the time frames we are looking at as we move forward.
Blood on the property, confirmed to be Nancy's.
Yeah, they seem to be much, much more tight-lipped today, Connell, in terms of just the vibe from the sheriff. He gave a lot more information yesterday. We were actually able to just walk up to the house, and we just got some new video, which I'm hoping to get to you soon. But it's pretty disturbing when you get up to the front door of the house, Connell.
This is the detail that hardens fear into evidence. Blood found at the residence was confirmed to be Nancy Guthrie's, according to reporting. In practical investigative terms, that confirmation does two things at once. First, it strengthens the argument that the disappearance involved a physical event at or near the home.
The only DNA evidence we've got back is on the porch. We prioritize things and we rush things, and those items we put out to a lab to rush it. And even then, it's 2, 3, 4 days. The other items could take 10 days, 20 days, but we saw the importance of that blood.
Second, it raises the urgency and the gravity of every subsequent lead because it suggests harm, struggle, or at least a scenario that can't be explained away as a misunderstanding. This also helps explain why law enforcement has maintained a tight posture about proof of life and why the search work has been extensive. It's not sensationalism, it's triage.
Well, again, I've got to be careful for HIPAA, but I would say this. We know she is in need of medication. Daily medication, and we also know that this is day 4 or 5, and still we don't know that she's getting her medication. That could in itself prove fatal.
The ransom messages.
Well, it's interesting you bring up business because a true ransom kidnapping is a very rational and instrumental based business deal. This isn't, any sort of like a grievance or really emotional. This is rational. They want money.
This case has not involved a single ransom note, but multiple alleged ransom messages, many sent directly to media outlets. The first publicized message was sent to an Arizona news station, with Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos confirming investigators were treating it, quote, like any piece of evidence, not as verified proof. Subsequent messages followed. Local station KOLD reported receiving a possible ransom note on February 2nd, with another arriving days later.
Almost immediately after that second letter came in, investigators went back to the home. They were searching the roof of the home, the garage area. They towed away her vehicle out of the garage that was still in there, and the backyard area of the home as well. Now, again, we don't know if something in that note, as they try to authenticate it, we don't know if it is authentic or if it is part of a big hoax, maybe linked to the first letter.
AP and People later confirmed that multiple outlets, including TMZ, had received similar demands, some setting deadlines on February 5th and February 9th. While many messages were noise, one lead remains chillingly distinct: a demand for $6 million in Bitcoin.
The family and investigators are holding out faith, hoping the Bitcoin wallet included in the ransom note could offer some clues.
Once they take it off of Bitcoin onto another currency, it's at that very moment that even if it's on international territory, we'll still see it.
Unlike the hoaxes, this message reportedly contained sensitive information regarding what Nancy was wearing, details the Pima County Sheriff had intentionally withheld from the public. Crucially, law enforcement has not confirmed the authenticity of any ransom communication. That caution proved warranted. On February 5th, federal authorities arrested Derek Colella, a California man accused of impersonating the abductor and sending a fraudulent Bitcoin demand to the family.
They've arrested the Los Angeles County man for sending fake ransom texts to the Guthrie family demanding Bitcoin payments. But investigators, they wanted to make it clear at this point there's no direct line or direct link, rather, between those messages along with the ransom notes that were passed along to TV stations earlier this week.
The result is a critical reality. The ransom layer is crowded with noise, hoaxes, and unverified claims, forcing investigators to treat every message as both potentially vital and potentially dangerous to get wrong.
You still have the time to do the right thing before this becomes a worse, much worse scenario for you.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. The Guthrie family's public plea. With days passing and no resolution, Savannah Guthrie and her siblings went public in a direct appeal, releasing a video that included the line, "We will pay."
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
ABC News also quoted the family reaching out with a negotiation posture, indicating a willingness to open a dialogue. It's one of the most human and difficult beats in the entire story, the point where a family tries to speak to a potentially dangerous person, while law enforcement is simultaneously trying to avoid empowering scammers or contaminating the investigation.
So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation.
Public pleas can help. They can also multiply the number of bad actors who see this as an opportunity. That's why the family's message sits inside a tactical paradox. Visibility can generate tips and pressure, but it can also generate noise and copycats.
There was no sign of life given in this second message. So without that message showing a sign of life, I'm not sure that I would recommend to make that payment. But nonetheless, it's up to the family, and the family wants to get their mother back, alive or dead.
Have you been following the Nancy Guthrie case? Is there anything we missed? Be sure to let us know in the comments.